Welcome to the Empire, this is Rampart, and welcome to another development update for the Project Renaissance, our fan-made Medieval 3 spiritual successor, where we're going to continue where we left off, trying to give you guys an update. It's been a while. I know you guys are probably wondering, what the fuck am I looking at? Don't worry, I'll explain that in just a second. I thought I'd just leave this up here because it's just kind of a fun, good intro image. Because I know I haven't been able to get as many updates out as much as I would like to recently. I've just been a little bit more busy with doing some work and other things outside of the studio channel, like my own channel, and trying to develop my TikTok and stuff like that, and other things like just actual genuine work too as well. So just haven't been able to really put together a proper update video as much as I would have liked to recently. But hey, I found I think we have enough stuff to try and put together a kind of an update to kind of give you guys an idea of what is going on. One of the first things, and this is just leading back straight into this, like, what the fuck is this image? This is a first initial mock-up of basically testing out UI ideas, essentially. And so this I kind of love. It's basically essentially a first initial mock-up of just, hey, placeholder images. It's kind of us having fun a little bit with the idea of, like, we've still been contemplating, like, I know right now we have been calling this Project Renaissance. I at least was the initial person that came up with that name, as I think it kind of makes sense. But we also still been kind of trying to figure out, like, what the hell are we going to actually want to call this project when it's a full game and it's releasing. And so we keep playing around with so many names, like Geese of War, The Pecking Order. It's not realistic, but it's funny. But no, like, this is the first thing we're going to showcase where this is like, hey, this would be an example of a possible like UI where we would maybe be kind of thinking of when you load up the campaign or you load up the game, and like this is the idea of, like, oh hey, if this would be interactable, I could then click in, go into the into the campaign, sandbox, multiplayer, all that. That's kind of the idea that we've been just wanting to play around with. Like, hey, it's a good idea to just get some ideas onto paper. This would be an example of if we are able to, like, I would love us to be able to have historical battles, like campaign battles that you can play through. This is an example of a way to possibly have it so, like, initial concept for how we would want the UI to be set up. So, like, hey, here's an example of the Battle of Stamford Bridge, or the battle, and just gives like a detailed little description of, like, what's going on for this sort of historical battle. I would love if we do actually also have, like, the tapestry type photos or images in the background, like, be inspiration from, like, I like that. Also, a basic initial concept on, hey, just going more into what we'd want to try and have it be for campaign selection. I do like the idea. This would maybe be something that is me kind of putting an idea out there that we won't be able to test out until a while from now. Is the fact that, again, eventually we want to be able to expand out to 2 more areas, but the first initial campaign is just on the lands of the British Isles. But it would be nice that, like, if I feel like it would make a lot of sense, and I think it'd be a better way to have it so you can be more personalized or more invested in the little areas you're expanding or you're focusing on. Whereas instead of having, like, like, for example, with Immortal Empires for Warhammer 3, you have the big, massive map, and you have to see all this, like, okay, I can see, like, I'm this one tiny little dot over here, one tiny little dot over here, and it's kind of you don't get to notice as much, like, what's going on around you initially. Even if, like, if we are able to get everything all set up with the grand campaign, I still think it would make a lot of sense. When you start the campaign, you would basically be able to say, hey, I want to have it so I'm starting a grand campaign. I'm going to open up the Britannia campaign. It will zoom in on Britannia, showcase the factions that are associated with Britannia. And then same thing, like, hey, I want to focus on France. I think that'd be a really good way to let you actually kind of focus on more of, like, the local wars you'd be dealing with, instead of just, yeah, I know I kind of start here, but I don't know who the fuck starts around me. I have no idea what that information is. So it'd be nice to have that information initially before you even start a campaign. So again, like, hey, the example we have here is just the facts. Like, we're going to be definitely going through with Saxons and Normans will be like the first 2 initial playable factions we want to try and play around with before we get into something. This is an example of, like, hey, just loading in for a multiplayer battle. I know we've really been talking about the idea of, like, taking inspiration from these tapestries and the medieval artwork as part of some of our loading screens. I love that. I definitely think it'd be great. I know if we don't have this, it'd be specifically then also, like, loading in and showcasing maybe the terrain as well. But just having this in the background, we need to. There's no quotes here, but I want quotes. I will be arguing that we should try and have some quotes in here to try and showcase stuff, because I always loved the quotes in loading screens. I don't know if it was just me, but I have always loved them. This is then, oh god, it's so fuzzy for Medieval 2, but this is just supposed to be then, hey, if you're doing a battle, again, these are all initial rough mock-ups, but it's giving us an idea of something to work towards when we properly start trying to implement our actual UI in the game and everything like that. Besides that, that'll be the end of this little bit. But okay, you can see like, hey, battle UI concept, multiplayer unit selection, screen concept, sandbox campaign selection screen concept, potential campaign battle screen concept, and so on. And then yeah, the main menu screen concept. Because today, primarily what I'm going over is, so first and foremost, this UI stuff. There is also some new developments on the for the map, battle map, and stuff like that, which I'll be showcasing in a second. And then also just some interesting little pieces that we've written for. I'll start off with that actually next. So this would be then, hey, we're trying to make up some mock speeches that try and get the feel that you had from medieval campaign speeches, because I miss them. Technically they exist in some form, shape, or form sometimes in more recent Total Wars. Not as exciting, especially when they just happen off to the side. I think the very a zoom in, show the cinematic of giving the speech, I think that's a good way to have you really immerse in it. I think we'd probably try and have it so if we can, I don't think it would be that difficult to have it. So if someone does not want to see the speeches, we can just have a toggle. Like, that would not be a bad thing. Or if you skip through a speech long enough, it'd be like, hey, do you want to keep just skipping speeches automatically? Like, that could be a setting we have. Because I know I love them, but eventually you do kind of just skip through a bunch of them. But hey, so we have here's a motivational speech here. Hear me, my soldiers. It saddens me to see so many young faces here today. But I am also extremely proud to know that I'm leading an army of lions. All of you have risen up to protect your loved ones. Know that you are heroes, each and every one of you. Stand firm next to your brothers in arms. Do not break, no matter what the enemy throws at you. That is how we shall win this day. To arms. Like that right there really sells, and it really reminds me of Medieval 1 for its speeches. We've got that one. Here are a couple other examples that we have around here. Gotta love the cynical speech. Comical loud fart. Damn it, I need to raise my visor again. Like, some of these are just kind of fun, but they're a couple little speeches that we just kind of put together to try and get the vibe right on what we'd be kind of going for. Because I know I have talked about, and I do like the idea of us trying to have it so, hey, we want to have it so there are specific traits that characters will have. And instead of you focusing on, instead of having it so that your character is, you just build them how you want, they will gain traits based on how you interact with them. And if you have a character that becomes cynical, if we notice that they have the cynical trait, maybe we'll have it so they'll do more cynical speeches. That's my hope. That's the hope, because there's a lot of things I think we can do with the trait system that we would want to try and implement to try and replicate what you could do with Medieval 2. So besides that, then there was also, this is just an example of, hey, some of the event messages we want to be able to try and have. So this is just a list of some of the ones that we have initially for the 11th century. And this is just for, hey, if you're playing as the Saxons or as the Normans. So kind of going through each year, kind of describing, hey, what things they might be told to try and immerse you into the world and get you a bit more invested in what's going on. I know I always love getting event messages like this, especially example, the Zardam's Total War mod does this really well, where it gives you a small little rundown of what's going on in the local area around you, or what's going on at large. And to me, I always found that so fun. It always made me more invested in the idea of what's going on. Like the example in Zardam's, when they have the French invading, getting the lead up to the French invading is far more exciting to me than just, oh, the French just randomly invade, they're now here. Giving a small little lead up and a little bit of foreshadowing that they're coming, it really adds. It really does. So I'll kind of scroll through this. You guys can kind of see what we're thinking of, or for examples of what kind of events we'd be possibly a nice year where there are not many events. Okay, I didn't even notice that initially when I was looking at it, but I love it. Yeah, grave news, battlefront east, and Sky Byzantines have lost a great battle against the heathen hordes from the east. Only time will tell what kind of repercussions this will have on Christendom. So I love these little things. I think it's a good way to immerse people into the world that they're actually playing around. And I can just imagine that, oh my god, when we have it so that there's the giant list of this, when it is eventually all the factions, and if there's how many of these will switch and change for each faction. Oh man, there will be so many events. Wait, what? According to Wikipedia, what? Okay, I don't know if that. I think that's a placeholder. I didn't notice that one either. But no, you can see like there's more of these are supposed to be like actually things like what happened. Um, I should have read through this more thoroughly before I started showing it, but who cares? It's fine. We're doing it live. Other than that, some other things we've had is just some other occasional, just more updates on, hey, our teams. I love the guys that we have right now doing artwork. This was with, because this is Rogart's stuff. I know I've showcased some of his stuff in the past, where this is more so kind of showcasing our basic idea on what we'd be doing for the differences in tier equipment, because I do want, we do want to try and have the upgrade system to actually show visual changes on units as you improve their weapons and armor. And then also we just have more stuff from Yan here, where this is a more concept art. I always fucking love his stuff. This looks amazing. This is for William the Conqueror, obviously, and I think this is amazing. So just another small little update on a little more things. Like this is just always coming through. We do still need more 3D and 3D artists for sure for modeling and things like that. I know we're going to be needing more of that. So if you guys, again, if you have any interest in trying to support the project, if you want to volunteer, those are the most prominent things we need right now for sure. I know like bug testing and other developmental stuff don't need as much right now, kind of going on the back burner. I'm trying to have it so we wait until we are trying to expand, like once we get the workflow really going, like once we have like England fully set up and like it's a very playable system. That's more likely when we do, like when we want to start trying to work on France, like we start branching into the next area. That's when we start adding in more for that. But again, if you're interested in trying to help out the project, and just feel free, email me in the email I have down in the description. That's the best way to reach out to me. And again, don't worry if I don't get back to you guys. I save every single email that I get from you guys. I might even show that a little bit maybe. No, I can. Yeah, so here's the best example. I mark every single one of you. If you guys have emailed me before, I mark you as I still need to reach out to you guys, because I do intend that I will always reach back out to you guys at some point. I don't want to leave everybody just on red. It's just, I know at times with this project, I don't want to overcommit. I don't want to get everybody, like if I added every single person in all at once, we would have a team of like 50 people, and I don't think I'd be able to manage all that. That would be crazy. So again, if you guys are interested, send an email to this email. Give me an idea of like if you want to help out. If you have some sort of portfolio or anything like that, giving examples of what you have for your experiences, that makes it a lot easier to make the clear decision of, okay, this person has enough skill that we will want to add them in now, or hey, this is somebody I want to reach out when we're trying to branch out more and we have like our systems more in place to get everything ready to go. So that is one other thing. Again, if you guys want to reach out, emails down below, feel free to reach out to me. The last thing I want to go over today, which is this is just more updates on stuff related to developing the mapping tools that we're making. The first example is actually a bug. It's straight up a bug, but it's a really interesting looking bug that even we agreed that like, no, this just honestly looks kind of cool. It was joked about that maybe this is what the Fog of War should look like. I don't even know how we produce this bug. It is so cool though, because I know right now he's been trying to get working on the map tools, and for the most part, I have a lot of examples. It's hard to tell with this one. You can kind of see it. This is supposed to be more so focusing on wind. This is like the first iteration of trying to just get kind of wind operating on the map, so you can kind of see slight changes a little bit. It's harder for this one because it's so zoomed out. Next one though. Oh, that's me listening to a video in the background, I think. Where is it? But yeah, it's basically trying to give directionality to the grass. Here's another one. Yeah, here's a better example. Like this is a far better example of like slowly progressing, improving each time as we make changes to this. So there's that, and then this is now actually showcasing like, hey, actually changing the parameters of this wind system. At the moment right now, which I just find fascinating. I love to see our progress for this right now. And then now trying to incorporate it with the weather system. So like slowly but surely this project is coming along, and I appreciate it. I know for myself, I feel bad not giving you guys updates as much as I would like. I would love to be able to have at least an update every month, but I know I don't want to give you guys bits of nothingness. I want to make sure that it is a substantial enough update that I can be okay. If I can get like a 15-minute video recorded roughly for this, I think we have enough content to talk about. I know we're still working on the battle prototype. I've been having issues getting access to that just because the plugin, for some reason, I know Corey's still having no issues with on his end. We're just having it actually be updated to the repository so other people can access it. There's a little bit of an issue with that right now. But for the progress is still going along smoothly. I know we've been showcasing what progress we've been having so far on the battle prototype in our community Discord. So if you guys are not already in that, feel free to join that. That's where we will definitely put in a lot more smaller updates, like little things like, hey, I just did this. And so other people will occasionally just update things that they put in there. But again, if you want to get more regular updates, be a part of the process, be a part of the community. I do have a link down for that Discord, also down in the description of this video. But I do believe that will be all for right now. I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this update. Let me know what other things you want to, if you have anything to say about what I discussed in this video. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say about everything here. I need to make sure I go back through the last video I uploaded. I need to make sure I'm actually respond to comments. I need to do that. It's difficult to respond to all the comments on my personal channel and this channel at the same time. It's a little difficult, but I'm hoping you guys enjoyed this. But this is Rampant, and I'll see you guys next time.